Good evening, how are you? I've been a busy bee today. Yeah. Did you have a good Easter? Was it chocolatey? Yeah. I think that's what's meant to happen, isn't it, really? That's allowed. And are all the kids back at school? And Amanda, good to see you. You're over there, aren't you, rather than over here? You must be going to bed. Jackie, thank you for joining us. I hope you both had a good Easter. Oh, and there's more of you, but because of your privacy settings, I can't see who you are. I hope you've all had a good Easter, and we're raring to go all over again. Nose back up to the grindstone, I'm afraid, which it's good, isn't it? Yeah. That's all right. So, it's I've got to have my cup of tea, sorry. And that's what this quote's all about today, really. It says, you don't get what you wish for, you get what you work for. I tell you what, that sounds rather like quite a lot of hard work, doesn't it? I am a firm believer of the law of attraction. I love The Secret, and I love everything woo-woo that goes with that. And that is very much along the sort of frame of mind as if you sort of put it out there, it will come. What you focus on, you attract, which I am a firm believer of. But what I do also realise is that you can't just wish for it and sit around and do nothing. You do actually have to set the wheels in motion. Whether or not it's, I don't know, if you're looking for, Cherie, thank you for joining us. I hope you had a wonderful Easter. Lauren, lovely girl. Oh, don't tell me, you're back at school. Anyway, good to see you. I hope you all had a good Easter. I'm just boasting and saying that I've been a busy bee today. And which is lovely, because I had a few days off. You know, when you sort of sometimes realise that you've been burning the candle at both ends and you really need to take your foot off the pedal. Darling Laura, how are you? You've been a busy bee as well, I'm sure. But the thing is I was just sort of saying about the law of attraction, which is fab in itself. Those that believe in it, great, and those that don't probably think I'm barking, which is absolutely fine. I am a bit. The point is that you can't just sit there and wish for riches and abundance and all wonderful sort of, purpose and whatever it is. You can't just wish for it and sit there and wait and sort of, drum your fingers on the table waiting for it to happen. You can it's busy, isn't it, Laura? But I think the thing is that we have to, as I said, put the wheels in motion. You can't just... Well, you can just hope that it comes along, and maybe sometimes for those of you, Sonia, good to see you, thank you for joining us. Maybe those of you that are fortunate enough to attract all this loveliness just by waiting patiently, please tell me what your secret is, please, because I've been very busy. And the thing is, I've been very, very busy, but I haven't quite got there yet. Do you know what I mean? Thank you for the hearts and thumbs, I appreciate that. But I do believe that we shouldn't make it hard work. We shouldn't have to make it hard work. And I think the thing is, as long as you've got the right systems, and as long as you're heading in the right direction, as long as actually more to the point you're doing something that you enjoy, there's the effort sort of doesn't seem, you don't give it as begrudgingly, do you? Cheers, I need this. It's just, I think the thing is that when it feels like hard work, Joanne, hello my love, love your inspirational kick up the bum. Yeah, well, I needed that over the last couple of days. I was sitting there on Monday and Tuesday sort of thinking, I'm allowed to relax, and then it turned into Wednesday, and I thought, you know what, if I don't get my act together, my abundance isn't going to flow. Do you know what I mean? So I had to do something about it, and I think we all do a bit, and it's all right. And guys, anyone that's got revision, I know how you feel. I was actually very good at sort of doing the revision bit. I was able to, I had felt tip pens that I still, those of you that sit at workshops with me know that my notebooks are very, very colourful. Now I've actually started putting what I learn into practice, which I don't think I was terribly good at as an A-level student. I used to have wonderful colour-coded timetables, but I don't know actually how much revision I actually got done. So those of you who are in the thick of exam revision, I take my hat off to you, be it parents who are sort of trying to motivate their kids and kids who are trying to be motivated. Don't worry. We'll all get there in the end. If I told you my A-level grades would make your toes curl, but I'm still alive and kicking, and it's all right, isn't it? And anyway, I was meant to go and read maths at St Andrews, and God, if that had happened, Lord alone knows where I would have ended up. Certainly wouldn't have been in County Down, Northern Ireland. So, you know, there we are. Oh, thank you so much, whoever's sharing my videos. Joanne has, it says one other, but your privacy settings aren't allowing me to see. So thank you so much. But yeah, so this is just a sort of morale booster, and a sort of, don't worry, you're all doing okay. Whether or not you're planning your new, I don't know, sort of springtime business plan, or whether or not you've got your nose in your chemistry book, it's all right, keep going. And you know, things change, and if they don't, just keep on going. What did Winston Churchill say? If you're going through hell, just keep on going. The light will sort of get brighter, and it'll be at the end of the tunnel soon. But any hints, actually, as far as revision is concerned, and that's actually, it's not just revision, it's work, for God's sake. This is what I was doing, applying today, is the Pomodoro method, which I have put in my app. Oh God, where is it? Yes, Pomodoro method is in my app, Teen Toolbox. If you haven't already downloaded it, it's quite easy to search for, and it's free, I hasten to add. Share this with your kids, please, if they're going through that sort of shitty time at the minute, because they need as much help as they can get. But in my app, underneath Huffington Post, so social media tab, Huffington Post, I have posted an article there, and it's got two revision method. I'm digressing, this is not what I was going to talk about at all. Two revision method approaches, one for the young kids, which is, parents, I salute you, but get a contract with your children. It's great fun. You sort of sit there and thrash out what you need to do, and yes, you can use your phone, and mum can't come in here and disturb me, and music is or isn't allowed to be played, and I'm allowed to have X hours revision and X hours fun and all that sort of stuff, and you print it off and you sign it. So, and that's quite cool because it gives the child control, which is quite important. And the slightly more grown-up approach, which no one would sign a contract with me today, so I had to do the more grown-up approach, which is the Pomodoro method. Yes, I have the help. I have the beginnings of a teenager. Well, there you are, Cherie. Get on with it. He's a very conscientious lad, so I am sure he is working hard. And the Pomodoro method is basically saying break your work into 25-minute segments and do a bit and take a tiny bit off, as relaxation and that sort of stuff. And then after sort of 3 Pomodoros, which is 3 25-minute sessions with a 5-minute break in between, so that's probably about an hour and a half, then go and take 20 minutes off. And it works because you have to turn your phone off. But what it does is it sort of says, listen, 25 minutes isn't long, let's just blast it. And you get so much more done rather than, actually, no, that's unfair. I haven't wholeheartedly entered it into it today because I've been doing lots of Snapchats with Alice and Chris. It's Chris's birthday and they are in London having, by what looks like a whale of a time. It started off with Prosecco, and I think it's probably going to finish with Prosecco and a bit of the Lion King. So I tell you where I know where I'd rather have been today, but hey, there you are. That's what it's like to be young. But the point is, yeah, so that there's help if any of your young people are having trouble sort of being focused. One sec, please. That said, as a grown-up, it's quite hard to be focused. As a grown-up, and I know many of you are sort of in the revision stages with your kids, and it is going to feel like a long month or so because that's what AS levels and GCSEs and A levels are all about. And summer exams, I'm not belittling them because, when you're sort of at the sort of beginning of it all, even those are quite daunting. But as a parent, it can be, and gosh, this is going to segue so nicely into my question that I have for you. But as a parent, you know, you're juggling plates and you're too busy sort of trying to keep everyone happy and keep the peace and make sure everyone's all right, and probably got a day job as well, and then you've got another half coming in if you're fortunate or not fortunate, as the case may be, delete where applicable. And it can be quite tricky. And it can be hard to have me time. And wait for it, here comes my question. I am thinking, just on principle, and I would like hearts and thumbs if you like this idea or not. I am thinking of running a number of workshops or retreats. And what my question really to you guys is, would you like, you know, if I was sort of going to do a sort of, you know, because yes, there's a lot to do about parenting, as you know, but actually my view is that as the parent, it is more important really to get your own shit together to begin with, because if your head's all over the place, how on earth can you support your kids? How on earth can you support the rest of the people in your family? So it is, and come on, we know that on the aeroplane, you know, the safety instructions will come across, apart from United, they don't seem to give them monkeys at the minute, but sorry, there are other airlines available. But they say to you, you know, when the oxygen mask drops, put it on yourself. It's self-preservation first, because if you run out of steam, you're no blooming use to anyone. So the question is, I am thinking of running retreats, daily retreats or weekend retreats, and I just sort of would be interested what floats your boat. You know, would you be interested in one-to-ones where I've just come back from Lochern Spa. I know Cherie and Laura, who are watching, know the place because they were there with me not so long ago. Actually, it was a long time ago. We ought to redo that, ladies. But as far as it's Lochern Golf Resort, and they do fantastic Thai massages. So my question is, if I sort of did a suite of workshops to choose from, would you like one-to-ones, just you and me, or would you like group workshops? So there could be sort of, I don't know, 4 or 5 or 10 people, or would you like a spa retreat where I quite like all of them, where there's a massage thrown in and then a bit of lunch, and you sort of have a couple of sort of, I don't know, recharge sessions, but also rediscovery of yourself, and find out what your emotional blocks are, or your limiting beliefs. You see, there's so much to put in. Would you be able to do day retreats or weekend retreats? Or just do me a favour, please PM me, or do hearts and thumbs if you even like any of what I've suggested, or put in the comments here, yeah, there, you know what it is, and just sort of say, oh God, definitely day retreat, or definitely one-to-one, or whatever floats your boat. I would definitely do it in Lochern because it's a place I know and love, and I would also do some in probably London. And yeah, it's just sort of, you know, I do find that it's exceptionally important for the parents to look after themselves. Come on, you know what it's like. God, I used to get to the stage about 4:30, 5 o'clock, you know, trying to work out if it was acceptable to open the Sauvignon. I mean, and because it can be same old, same old. It can be where the focus goes totally. I forgot when I was a mum who the bloody hell I was. And sometimes we need to reconnect with ourselves, as you know, and realise, oh my God, I'm trying to be a perfect partner and a perfect, you know, wife and perfect parent and perfect colleague and perfect friend, and you suddenly forget, hang on a minute, I'm dancing to everyone else's agenda apart from my own. Does that ring a bell? So I'm just sort of not, you know, in order to support your family, in order to support your colleagues, support your loved ones, support whoever, you've bloody well got to look after yourself. And it's not selfish, it's actually vital. Lochern, beautiful, absolute bliss, isn't it? I know. and I quite like to share that location with lots of others. So yeah, so just let me know. On principle, I haven't sort of done, well, I have. I was sort of looking at it today thinking, oh my God, even I would quite like to sort of, you know, go on one of these. And I'd actually probably like an overnight, but maybe you're different. Maybe you just would like a weekend, or maybe you're going, living it. You know, I've got a breakthrough session, which is for parents, you know, mum or dad or whoever you are. Not necessarily for parents, why do I keep saying that? But it's a breakthrough session, which is very much sort of knock you down and knock all the limiting beliefs and all that negative and past trauma and all that sort of stuff, and start rebuild you from the ground up. And it's very intensive, and it is hugely impactful, and when you come out the other end, it is so exciting. So that, I think, that would be brilliant at Lochern, because by the end of it, you sort of do actually feel as though you do need a massage, because it is quite, it's quite intensive. That would have to be a one-to-one. You wouldn't really want to share your innermost secrets with strangers. But, you know, sort of maybe spa days, a bit of lunch, and other sort of like-minded souls. It would be nice to have a get-together and just create little sort of a support network. So, do me a favour and let me know what you think. Sort of, you know, hearts and thumbs always lets me, or even if you just sort of think, don't be so bloody stupid, or think of nothing worse, and do an angry face. At least I get feedback then. The only feedback I've got is a meowing cat the other side of this door, and he's been asleep all day, so there we are. But yeah, let me just see if I've, you know, I just don't want to miss sort of anything, but yeah, in principle, and it's just a matter of, yeah, reconnecting with yourself, because if you haven't done it before, it's quite enlightening, and I think it's important to spend time on yourself so that you can get your head together so you can look after everyone else. I know how valuable it is. So, and that sort of, I thought, nestled nicely with my quote, you don't get what you wish for, you get what you work for, which is quite right, because if you haven't sort of put all your processes and whatever it is, I mean, you know, you're not going to, if you're sitting there wanting a convertible car and just sit there and wish for it, it could take quite a long time before you get it. Whereas if you set the wheels in motion, excuse the pun, see what I did there, and start, I don't know, even, you know, so these law of attraction people say, well, go and test drive it so the universe knows that that's what you want. And that's absolutely fine. But if you don't have the financial wherewithal to get this wonderful soft top, either buy it on tick and you know, spend forever paying it back, or you've got to start, you know, getting the wheels in motion for you to be able to afford these things. Or, yeah, I was going to say something so un-PC, but I won't. But do you know what I mean? So the point is that yes, what we want is so important, but if you sit there drumming your fingers and just sort of wishing through what, as you know, I'm very good at having rose-tinted glasses on, but you do actually have to put some groundwork in as well. Nicola, thank you for joining us. Paul, thank you for joining us. It's important. It's important to, I do think, to sort of get a bit of focus, to set goals, which is what the as I mentioned earlier, the breakthrough session is all about, is trying to work out what your new future is. Because if you're in a sort of situation where you haven't dedicated very much time to yourself in a while, and you are being the perfect whatever to everyone else, invariably you've forgotten what makes you tick. You've forgotten what drives you, what your hopes and dreams are. And sometimes you sort of just peer in the mirror and go, oh my God, this is not what I planned at all. And so what you need to do is just reflect and start working out what you really want in life, where you want to head. Because, and it's serious, this is serious, once you start doing that, and once you start working out where you're heading and what your goals are, and long-term, short-term, or whatever, believe me, it has a massive impact on your family. And when I started my business, I remember my first one as a photographer. You may have heard this story. I was sort of working at slideshows and stuff, and I think Alice must have been about 8 or 9, and I was sort of putting the slideshow of a wedding together, and I think it was a promo video or something, and I sort of said, listen, I need some background music. Just to sort of, add a bit of sort of emotion and a bit of atmosphere. And I said to Alice, do you like song A or song B? And she went, oh, Mum, you couldn't have song B. And I went, well, why not? She said, it doesn't match your brand. I thought, oh my God, this 10-year-old, or however old she was actually soaking all this stuff up without me even realising. And then Jack used to sort of come up to me and he went, hey, for your website, well, here's a really good quote. And I'm going, oh my God, so it is so important for not only you to realise, yes, you are all singing or dancing for everyone else, perfect partner, perfect parent, perfect friend, perfect colleague, but you've got to work out who you are. You've got to work out who you are as an individual, what you stand for, where you want to head. And it does make a massive difference. Kids learn by observation. And when they see their parent, rather than dragging their feet and screeching for the Sauvignon 5 and yelling over the fish fingers, when they see their parent actually focus on something slightly different to fish fingers and Sauvignon, it can be really enlightening. So there you are. So that is my roundabout way of saying, blimmin' well, spend some me time on you, work out what you want to do, work out where you want to go. And the thing is that when you get that clarity, when you understand what you want to do, it doesn't feel like an effort. It really doesn't. I spend most of my time working, and it doesn't feel, I'm sure, I'm allowed to because I'm an empty nester, so I no longer screech over Sauvignon fish fingers. There we are. But Mike's got a nice piece of haddock coming tonight, so there we are. But the point is that, yeah, I've sort of got slightly different boundaries now, but as long as you follow your passion and something that you really enjoy, then, and setting those wheels in motion and setting your purpose and setting your goals, it just makes that future so much more exciting. And kids, if you're ploughing through titration in chemistry or calculus in maths or sonnets in whatever, well done. But if you start planning, it'll make it all worthwhile. And I know, in fairness, a lot of the young people I see who are slightly, God, this is crap and I wish I didn't feel like this, a lot of them don't really know where they're headed. Serious point here. A lot of them are just going through the motions of, yeah, I've got to do these O-level or GCSEs or these A-levels, and they don't quite know, which is fine. My kids still sort of going, well, I know what I don't want to do, but I'm not sure what I do want to do. That's okay. Just keep on trying to do different, take up different challenges and different opportunities, because if nothing else, it'll tell you what you don't want to do, which is cool. But the more you plan, the more exciting your future becomes, because you've got something to work towards. And on that note, I shall love you and leave you. I trust you had a wonderful Easter, and isn't it exciting that for the next month and a bit we're going to hear about nothing but the general bloody election? No, you won't hear. I hope the only time I'm going to mention it, and so this will be an election-free zone for the foreseeable future. And on that note, love to you all, and I shall speak to you soon. And please don't forget to let me know what you like the sound of. Workshops, one-to-ones, days, 2 days, 3 days, whatever. London, Lochern, you tell me, and then I can start planning. Hurrah! There's my brighter future sorted. Thank you, and I'll speak to you soon.